Hey, YouTube Brando here. So some of you may remember we did an unboxing on these water storage containers that we picked up from Walmart. I think they were less than $5. It's called Reliance. Reliance water container, collapsible water container is all it's called. This thing's been folded up since we did the unboxing. It's just been sitting there. And we're doing the prepper challenge. So I wanted to make sure we had enough water, so I went ahead and busted it out. Filled it up. You don't have to unfold it when you're filling it up, by the way. It'll just blow up like a balloon as you're filling it. It is heavy. I don't see myself, walking far distances with this. The container itself super light, but of course the water's heavy. First thing I noticed was this crack right here, and I'm sure it's not going to pick it up. So let's get a little light on it. See it? It's losing water right there. It's the first spot, and that's just one. Alright, right here, this is where it was folded up inside the bag. Alright, you get them from the store like this. It ain't like I did this storing it or something. Right here is the very corner of it. And you can see it's busted. So it's got a leak here, it's got a leak here. The one place I thought it was going to leak was the nozzle. It doesn't leak at all. And it works well. That was just some leftover water in there. Bring it down. So it doesn't seem like it leaks at all. But there's quite a few other leaks on it. You can see it's full of water down here now. And that's just a few, few seconds of being over on its side. It's got 2 leaks that I know of, and I'm sure it has more. So we're going to do what we said we was going to do with this thing. As soon as the prepper challenge is over, because I want to use this water if possible. I'm going to set it in the sink so it can leak and not get all over my table. And then we're going to take this thing outside and drop it on the concrete and see what it does. Just see if it busts like I predicted it would. Which it's thin plastic. Damn. Alright, so I'm going to get this thing in the sink for now. We're going to use it for the night. Then I'm going to refill it and we're going to drop it. So we'll come back and get the camera set up tomorrow on the sidewalk and see what happens when we drop this thing with a little distance. We'll be back. Alright, so we got this thing full. Let's see what it'll do. We're going to, drop it from about 2 feet. Not too far. About where you'd be carrying it if you were carrying it next to your side and dropped it. Let's see what it'll do. Okay. Not too bad. A little bit of water on the ground. Might have sprung a leak. Drop it a little higher. There we go. And that was from maybe about 3 feet. Let's let it drain. Take it back inside and see what kind of damage we did to it. Honestly, I thought it was going to bust on the seam it was leaking on. I thought that's where it was going to bust. It busted out both sides. Where it actually X's to fold up, that seems to be the weak spot. You can see there. It blew it out pretty good right there. And it almost blew it out all the way up the X. That's where this thing crushes together to fold up. That seems to be the weak spots on it. Busted right there. This seam's fine. This seam's fine. And then the one that was leaking is even fine. And then we get to this side, and that's where we had our big blowout. That's where all the water came out gushing from, I'm sure. That's the side that was on the bottom, but it busted all the way up the X and all the way down this X. And this, if I remember right, give me a second here. Yeah. Because it collapses down like that, and that's the sides it busted out on. You can see when it comes back. That's just the X where it folds up. There's no seam there. But like I said, we chunked this thing from a good distance. It was probably 3 feet before you know, I dropped it. First time it was probably, I don't know, 1.5 feet, maybe 2 foot. It was just like I was holding it next to me, you know, like if you were walking down the road with it and dropped it. So it held up to that, but it was already leaking before we ever started. So I can't, you know, recommend these things. I think we're going to have to go with something a little bit more substantial, because these just aren't going to hold up very well. Definitely not long term. I was just thinking about emergency water, something like that, you know, something to keep in the truck or something, but you know, just keep it folded up. If you have to go for water, at least you have a container to bring it back in. But I just don't think it's even good for that. So Reliance was a complete fail. And not because it busted when I threw it, but just because it was leaking as soon as I filled it. Brand new. It was already leaking from 2 different places. So that's why it failed. Not because I was a, you know, jackass and went outside and threw it on the concrete. I expected it to blow out. I just wanted to see where it would blow out. I was thinking the seams, like I said. Alright, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching, YouTube.